Hey, what's up,
Hey,
y'all?
hey, welcome to the Sitdown. I'm your man, Rod Love. And boy, I tell you, we got a great show. Hey,
Yes,
Sister Wynn, how are you doing this evening?
I am doing amazing. How are you?
I am excellent. I see you doing your red thing going on there.
Yes.
Hey, and,
Yes.
and, and Doc Polite, I like the studio digs, brother.
Oh, thank you.
Boy, I tell you, just going big time on us.
Make
Mm-hmm.
make make me had a flashback when I put that up.
Man, hey, boy, I tell you, things are just, a lot of people sit back and they think about going into the new year. I'm not a wait till the end of the year to come up with new year resolutions.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, no. You want to live your best life every day.
Every day. Yes.
So
As
so
Jill Scott would
as
say,
Jill Scott
living
said,
my best
living
life.
your best life. Hey, so y'all, what are we gonna do this evening?
Well,
Well,
we're going to
before
talk.
we get started, I would like to say to Doc Polite, thank you for your service. Glad you made
You're
it home
welcome. You're
safe.
welcome.
Thank you,
You're
thank you,
welcome.
thank you.
Veterans Day.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I served in the U.S. Army as a recon scout, and yeah, I
And you
enjoyed it.
and you
How
still
many
reconning,
years?
and you still reconning.
You know, I try to explain to people how transformative serving in the military can be if you embrace it. I would say a lot of what my life has become was is based on the tenacity that I learned being a soldier, not giving up and always having a plan and moving forward, not
Mm-hmm.
complaining about the setback. Have a plan to come back. You know,
Right.
don't worry
Right.
about the setback. Plan to come back. You know,
I like
so
that. I like that.
um, because we're gonna fail at stuff. That's how we move forward.
But people don't
Like,
realize that.
yeah,
People don't realize success. Failures are part of success.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
It is. It is.
yeah.
Hey Doc,
So
but you still reconning. you,
listen,
you still you still reconning.
it take my wife to tell you about that, but I
Hey,
just,
go ahead, Doc.
but I'm grateful. So many of my peers they served on, and I lost a few friends in Iraq and those wars. I didn't go to war, but I got out right before. Actually, I would have been there, but I got hurt and I had to get discharged because I could no longer perform my military duties
Okay.
because of my injuries. But we need to pray for our soldiers. So many are come home, they're in crisis, they're homeless.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
they're dealing with PTSD and all these things, and so I understand it.
Yes.
I at one point I was a counselor for veterans as well, and I dealt with a lot of them with PTSD. So
Well, tell you what, that was something that was talked about and discussed this Saturday. I had a great opportunity to attend the Chi 2 chapter of Omega Psi Phi
Mm-hmm.
Founders Day Ball, and it took place at Highland Manor
Okay.
in Apopka,
Okay.
Florida.
Okay.
Man, I tell you, it was inspirational. I'm not familiar with the fraternity stuff and the protocol and the hierarchy, but boy, I tell you, it was a great event. They had their what they call the grand boss,
Okay.
and that's the guy who is recognized and respected. I guess I don't want to misspeak over all of the chapters internationally, and I believe his name was Grand Boss Ricky Lewis, and he brought some words of wisdom. Man, I tell you, one of their priorities is mentoring. He talked about wellness, letting brothers know go get your PSAs checked, check that prostate. It's something else, Doc. What is it called? A1A or A1
AC A1C
A1C.
A1C.
And that's what Doc check for diabetes.
That's yeah, that's your long term blood sugar levels. They take an average over I think 3 months
Oh
that
wow.
reading, and whatever your blood sugar is consistently over that.
Well, he came and brought some wisdom, and like I said, it was well attended, and just having just some real basic conversation that everybody need to be abreast of. He also talked about getting living trust. So your family, if something's gonna eventually happen, and you don't want your family have to be burdened with being tied up in probate because you didn't leave any plans.
Yes.
Right.
We need to have a
Exactly.
show on that.
We do, and I think we have some people that we can bring in that can talk about.
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of good people out
Yeah.
there.
Hey, so hey, the two of y'all, what are we talking about tonight? I'm gonna take a Steve Harvey position on this thing.
Okay. And I'll tell you how we got to this subject. I called Rod last week sometime. I was driving to the store and I passed by a automated robotic flag man.
Wait a
And
minute.
when it was during this thing, I had never seen it before. You know, the flag man that stands on the side of the road, right? And
Right.
waves you through. And
Yes.
well, now they don't need the person. They got a robot machine that stands there.
Hey Doc, tell him $20,000.
It's 20. It costs $20,000.
$20,000. No benefits. Don't have to worry about HR. No complaints. We'll go to work.
We'll stand out in the rain and all.
Everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
Everything.
wow.
And see, this is what something me and Rod are always hammering on. You got to transition from these jobs. These jobs are disappearing. People feel like, oh, that's my job. You don't have a job. You audition for your job every day.
It's funny you said that because I went to the store, the little convenience store. I took my granddaughter down. She wanted some chips or something. And there used to be cashiers there to do your transaction for you. Now they have a machine. You stick your item on this little belt and you punch in, and that's how you pay. You don't even talk to a person.
Pay for what?
Potato chips, sodas at a convenience store.
But you can go to the dollar store. I mean, everywhere has
No,
that.
but Rod,
Yeah.
this
Like
one,
that.
you could put it all together. You're talking about Circle K, right? You put all your stuff on the mat. It scanned everything.
Oh, you just sit it down.
Yeah, you just sit it down.
Oh,
and it scanned everything. But you better check it. You better check it because it don't work good. It overcharged.
It might ring up the wrong thing, huh, Doc?
Yeah, it did. It does. It did when they first brought it out. I got a Circle K near me. I went up there and I think I had like the little crunchy donuts and I think some pork skins and I got some gas and it was like $40. I was like, what? No. So it had misscanned the food I had and I got $30 worth of gas. And I didn't get that wasn't $10 for the pork skins and the donuts.
But
So
back
you
to your
better
point
check
though.
it.
Yeah, but back to your point. Everybody need to raise the game because if not, AI and automation
Yes.
will take your job.
Yes, it will. Yes,
Yep.
it will.
And
And like you say, no HR involved in that.
No HR. Hey, but let me ask both of y'all this, and I know both of you been watching this. Google is ordering people back to work. Amazon is ordering people back, and when I say back to work, back into the office. And now you have individuals signing petitions saying they shouldn't have to be forced. And I can't remember who the CEO just recently, he ordered people back to work 5 days a week. And, folks started signing a petition and he told them that you don't have to come back.
yeah.
Your job is voluntary.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's correct because see, we've created this entitlement culture where we think we are owed jobs, we're owed housing, we're owed all of these things rather than working towards them. Well, people feel that certain things are human rights. It's you got a right to housing. And you got a right to eat. The Bible say what? A man
You don't work, you don't eat.
Don't eat. Exactly. So again, we're caught in the dynamic of seeing that, and so we put together a list of job topics about emerging jobs that in the next 10 years are going to be the go-to jobs Then we got jobs that are obsolete and jobs that automation will replace. So one of the jobs I want to talk about, and this is huge, artificial intelligence and machine learning specialists. Okay, those are engineers that go to school and learn how to create AI models and machine learning algorithms. And the average salary for that is $145,000 a year.
That's the average salary.
That's the average salary, approximately the average salary. And so if you're a top performer, you can make probably 200,000-300,000 a year. You know, and think about that. You now got a job where you can sit, or even doing from home, remote.
But think about that, Doc, and Miss Wynn. Think about the fact that we had Mr. Robert Henley on the show maybe a couple of months back.
Yes.
And we had his son on here with him.
Yes.
Yeah. And the fact that the school that his son was going to at a young age wanted to declare or diagnose, if you would, his son as disabled from being a disabled learner.
Yep.
And now, because Mr. Henley and his wife said, wait, no. And the medication that the school recommended that his son be on just kept him in a haze.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about AI, artificial intelligence, think about the fact that Mr. Henley teaches STEM and they have a robotics class. And something that, you know, I don't want to be too premature, but FEC and Mr. Henley are going to be teaming up in January to look at how do we facilitate young people in a couple of communities in Orange County with learning these robotic skills. But this is kind of going to the byline of what Doc is talking about.
So now it's funny because I learned a new word. Y'all know I'm always reading. Neurodivergent. Y'all know what that means?
Wait a minute, say it again.
Neurodivergent.
Tell me. I mean, yeah, I don't even want to guess. Tell me.
A neurodivergent person is someone whose brain does not operate in the typical manner that other people do. Their thinking process and their information processing is vastly different than the traditional way. And they're finding that that's a lot of people that have ADHD and autism. That's what's going on. Their brain is just wired different. And we're it's like trying to put a square peg in a round hole. It's never going to fit because that's not how it was created.
Right.
So, you know, we've got to do a better job of slowing down and not trying to put every kid into a box or
every kid on medication.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, and we got to look at the fact that our education system was designed around agriculture, and it has not changed. The way the system has not changed since the Industrial Revolution. It went from
Well, Doc and Ms. Wynn, you know, let's speak to data scientists. I mean, that's something that I'm unfamiliar with. I mean, I know a scientist, and the scientist that I know is Dr. Randy Nelson, but he's a criminologist. You know, he's a criminal scientist. So, Doc, you know, talk a little bit about data science.
Well, a data scientist is going to be that person that can understand relational connections between business or scientific data that's collected. You know, they can, for example, I'm just do a rudimentary example. A person studies birds for a year and records all of their sounds, right?
Boring, but go ahead.
It's always going to be.
Hey, got a guy in
this
that was
football,
recording the birds.
but here's the point: the scientists will take that data, how many times they chirp at this note and that note, and then they will begin to form a model a data model that may help them to deduce what the bird is singing about, when this bird makes this particular sound, all that kind of stuff.
Mm,
So that's what
wow.
data scientist
What?
does.
Well, go ahead,
you
Miss Lynn. Go,
well, just like you said, Miss Love, that seems like a boring, but to somebody else,
to
it may
somebody,
be
yeah.
exciting.
Hey, so I'm gonna move on to something that I think is
But look,
sexier.
that person makes $108,000 a year. That's
Yeah,
average
Yeah,
yeah,
salary.
but hey, but and you know, and no disrespect to anybody, but boring. I'm gonna move on to something that's kind of sexy, Doc.
What's that?
Cybersecurity.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
I actually think they probably make more than what we have
On that, yeah.
120,000, because cyber security engineers are the ones who keep out the Russians and
Yes.
the Chinese and all of these hacks and all of this stuff. And the more complex that computing becomes, the more that those people are going to make. They got to figure out ways how to stop this
How
stuff.
to stop it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
So
that seems like a very interesting job, but very tedious.
yeah,
I would imagine it's tedious,
Yeah.
but you know what? If you think about what do you call some of these gamers?
Yes.
yeah,
I think along the lines of those cybersecurity engineers that the mind is like the gamer. Somebody's gonna figure out a way to poke a hole through your network, and those guys got to figure out how to close it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And that's like your mind just constantly going, constantly going.
yeah. But I tell you what, and Doc didn't mention this, but you have some of these cyber crooks, if you would, that are really good at getting into different systems.
Yes.
Those guys,
Hacking.
a lot of their sentence, once they get caught, is that they actually either go work for the government or they work for some of these large corporations making bank, but working
Yeah.
for them to
So-
keep
Yeah.
people out.
Out.
So that's called a white hat hacker, and black hat hacker. The white hat is the one that's hired by those companies to do ethical hacking. They hack the hackers.
Wow.
So it's real fascinating to read up on this stuff.
Well, Doc, they make movies about these guys.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Hey, so here's something, Doc, that we all use, but we got no clue about how to get there, and those are those cloud architects.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, I got a friend that does this kind of stuff, and he makes good. He makes good. He has his own. It's regional IT. It's out in outside of Houston, Texas, but he makes some great money because he's remoting about 30 companies he's controlling through cloud.
But you got to keep them.
management.
You got to keep them secure.
Yeah, and that's where it comes in. So his stuff is about connection. The cloud architect connect these different servers and things like that. So that came out way after I learned computers. So I'm not well versed on a lot of this stuff.
Hey, you know,
So-
I never knew that there was anything called renewable energy engineers.
Yeah. That's easy to deduce. That's those people that find how to turn waste and things into energy, as well as how to make it more efficient in doing so.
Kind of almost like save your energy, like your solar panels. That
Yeah, but you know, when you look at this and you look at what we see from the Department of Labor in terms of salary, renewable engineers are some of the. 71,000 is nothing to sneeze at, but at the same time, when you compare it to the salaries of these other areas, those are like the lowest paid.
Well, you know, I think renewable energy is something that's going to emerge. We the average person doesn't understand about renewable energy, and a lot of people don't believe in climate change. So I think as it becomes more prevalent that the Earth is changing, we're going to need to develop efficient ways in which we reuse things.
Yeah, yeah. Now the climate change I believed in because I spoke with my dad over the weekend and he
Hmm.
lives in Syracuse and it was 80 some degrees and they're in November and it's normally 50s and 60s.
No.
And I'm like,
But
whoa.
see,
He's
but
like,
see, here's the problem I have with climate change. Okay, when you take the totality of the history of the Earth, it has always risen and fell. The temperature ranges over periods, but they're saying, well, it's accelerating more and it's higher. But I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of I see a money grab
But you
myself.
you, you said you said money grab, but Sister Wynn, Doc, here's something that I'm not even a country boy. I grew up in Miami, but I didn't know what the city looked like till my sophomore year of college. So I don't know. I don't know what you call me, but here's my thinking in terms of just looking at some math, and based on what Doc just said too, is when you think about the population just of the United States is 300 and something million people.
Hmm.
You think about around the world, China and these other places that have larger populations. When you get more people that's populating the earth and warming their homes and eating more food and disposing more waste, I mean, you have to think that it is impacting where you live.
yeah.
And so when I hear that, yeah, I mean, mathematically, and I'm no math scholar, but you figure it does have an impact. And so the amount or the degree of the impact, I can't speak to it, but it has to have some kind of impact.
What,
Listen,
more people are moving into those little small urban areas now.
And those
And
urban areas are going because
Yep.
building more homes.
Homes.
okay,
Yep.
but check this out. We
Okay.
don't understand the size and the scope of Earth. You understand? And we when we talk about things like all these people all over the earth, do you know that every human being living right now can fit on the big island of Hawaii? Every one of them. They stand up shoulder to shoulder and back to back. So we're not really taking up that great a room on
But
Earth.
but if and I mean now I gotta my friend, I knew it. He wasn't gonna take long. He wasn't gonna take long. But if we had everybody go stand on the island of Hawaii,
Right.
as you
The big
mentioned,
island
Doc,
now, not
the
Oahu,
Oh,
the
the
big
big-
island.
the big island.
Right.
You don't think it's gonna have an impact on the island of Hawaii?
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that relative to
The
what we
space
think,
and
yeah, what we think that humans occupy in the world. The vast majority of the surface is water. So, how much of an impact are we really having, even with the carbon expenditures we do? Are we having enough to impact the earth?
see, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because I'm not that environmentalist. I can't speak to it, but again, I just have to believe as the population goes and grows, there's going to be an impact, and
But
that's
see,
just
this
my
this
belief.
this is the thing, though, Rod. Now, and I always point this out. Remember Zika?
Remember who?
Zika, the Zika virus.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah,
Remember that? And they told us it was
yeah,
going to kill us all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Remember Legionnaire's disease?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the what was the other one? With the tick. It was some disease, Lyme disease or something like that. And all of us are going to die from Lyme disease or get infected with Lyme disease because ticks was going to bite us and all this stuff. See, we have a history of spewing this kind of stuff and using fear to drive agendas, especially in this country. In fact, you could say that's why the Democrats lost. I wasn't gonna say no politics, but they tried to use fear, and it didn't work. And a lot of these things are driven by fear. You know, Al Gore started this whole global warming thing, and then they came out with the green tax credits and all this. So remember that?
Hey, but didn't he profit from?
Exactly, exactly. Him and some big wigs. That's just like the Obama phone. People start calling it an Obama phone, but you know who put that phone out? George
Who
Bush.
did?
George Bush.
Who?
George Bush, the father. First Bush.
Well, Doc, let me ask you about this, and I'm gonna take a direct detour right quick because have you been keeping up with how crypto has increased since the election?
Bitcoin.
No,
Bitcoin.
I haven't caught. Yeah, Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
And who was it, man? I was reading something about Jay-Z and somebody else who invested in Bitcoin years ago, and now it's worth. I mean, it's making these guys these billionaires that they are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't
and
it
remember
like
how they beat it down?
80% now?
88,000.
Something
Yeah,
like that.
for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
What?
Today, Bitcoin hit 88,000.
Yeah.
And you know, Brother
Wow.
Mondo keeps up with all this stuff.
Wow.
88,000.
So at one point, it was
75,000 was the hit mark
No, it
at
was
one
less
point.
than that. It was way
No.
less.
I'm just saying that was the high
Oh,
point
yeah.
at one point.
Yeah. And wow. So
What did Bitcoin start out at, Doc? And I know Armando probably will be texting me in a second here, but
Bitcoin
what did it start out at?
when it started out, I think it was less than $1.
Less than a dollar.
Was it that?
Bitcoin.
Less than $1, and one
Yeah.
Bitcoin now goes for 88,000.
Mhm.
Wow. Ooh, I did see that on Good Morning America.
Hey, and we're sitting around here buying up Dogecoin coin and Shiba coin.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Wow.
yeah,
It
that
just
was
started out in 2010, and it was a penny.
A penny?
Yeah, and then in April 2011, it got to $1.
And
So if you
look where
bought
it's
tons
at
of this
now.
stuff at a penny, and you know it's crazy. And I always tell this story about my friend Mark when I worked for a healthcare company. He kept telling me, buy this Bitcoin, buy some of this. I'm like, man, that crap. He's talking about it's electric money. That's what he was calling it. And I was like, man, that stuff, I don't trust that.
hey, but Dogecoin jumped 300% since the election too now. So something is going on here, and I'm glad that I just heard that because I might be at a point where I need to sell my Dogecoin.
Now hold on to it because one of the things you got to watch what those billionaires do and why. Now, there's a reason that that's going up. You know that Trump has a massive holding in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
And so does Elon Musk.
Well, Elon Musk is pushing Dogecoin, but it seems like sometimes when he push it,
Mm-hmm.
you look up next week and
Fell off.
it just fell off big time.
Mm-hmm.
I learned my lesson.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. So, you know,
Doc, but you say Bitcoin was at 1 cent at one point in time?
yep. And now, I'm looking at the headline: Trump eyes pro-crypto candidates for key federal financial agencies. And think about this: they have been stalling to put the ability in place to track this stuff. Remember, Bitcoin is blockchain technology.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's made up. A blockchain is a sequence of numbers, binary numbers that hold data. I don't want to go too deep into it, but they lock together, and only a certain key can unlock them. But they had to have a way to read that for government purposes.
Wow.
So now they probably got it in place, and they're putting the infrastructure in place. He's going to change the money.
Oh,
You know, there's a
Well,
U.S. digital dollar.
Well, what do y'all think the number one reason that government is adverse to cryptocurrency
Control.
Control, hide it.
and taxation?
Control.
Well, control because of taxation.
Well,
Wow.
no, regulation. They can't control.
Taxation.
They
Taxation.
can't. Yeah. Well, I get that, but it's also the way to control the markets. If you're purchasing tangible goods, right?
Hmm.
They can follow that.
Right.
Okay. Now imagine Bitcoin as stock. They can't follow it. You see what I'm saying?
They hide it. Mhm.
They can't know who owns these digital shares.
But
things like that.
again, Doc, why do they want to know?
Because they want to influence and control. Again, it's back to control. Take example, the healthcare business, right? What is that?
I don't know why he won't use he just dancing. He dancing around.
I'm not.
You keep using the word control, but Doc, it is all about taxation.
I get that. That's a part of it. But I think it's more than control. It's more about regulatory control. They can control. Right now, the government has their fingers in everybody's pie.
Because of taxation.
Okay, that's not the only reason. And you see it in the regulation. Look at building. They can decide who can be a builder, right?
Mhm.
And they make you go get these credentials, these credentials, these credentials. Okay,
Mhm.
and you have to pay money, right?
Mhm.
And the government regulates that. Without the ability to follow that money and regulation, it makes their job much harder to do and control industries. If two entities want to pool their money and buy something, the government can't take antitrust. If I'm purchasing with Bitcoin and you can't follow my transaction, you don't know who owns it.
You know, bottom line, and I'm not gonna be the sour puss on this, but I truly
Okay,
believe.
and taxes. It's taxes, right?
No, I mean, I wasn't even gonna say that, Doc, but I was gonna go down the path that, just my opinion, government's role is to make a way, not get in the way.
Mhm.
But we're not seeing that now. We're seeing a new evolution of government not only getting in the way, but impeding growth.
Yes.
And I think it's wrong. And that's the other thing that I'm going to be looking at as we proceed forward in the future when you talk about individuals that are interested in running for office.
Okay,
I'm
but
gonna,
why do they impede growth?
how do or why do?
No, why?
I would say they impede growth for, again, okay, Doc, control of how you operate.
Right.
Control.
Who operates? Look at healthcare.
And
Look at how-
it's government picking the winners and losers.
Right. That's control.
And
So they get more money out of those people that come to them and write the laws and lobby and all of that stuff. So it personally benefits a lot of elected officials.
And government is not the same everywhere. Let me go ahead and say that first and foremost. You have good government and what I call bad government. You got some areas that elected officials are cognizant that government's role is to make a way and not get in the way. You got some areas that government is taking over and you're looking up, and you got government controlling the private sector
Yes.
now.
Yes.
I don't agree with it. And again, it's what the people allow.
It is.
Yeah, it's like you
It
say,
is.
they are picking the winners and losers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's getting to the point that you can't object to it, because now when you object, it's going to cost you a lot of money to fight. And then that old saying about you can't fight, what is it? You can't fight government, or
You can't fight City Hall.
City Hall. Yeah, because City Hall using other people's money to fight you.
Yeah.
You
got to use your own.
you got to use your own.
money.
And that's why, I look again at our elected leaders. Who's going to go and fight for you? I think we're losing a lot of fighters, and that's why I'm looking more so at when individuals want to run for office. I want to know what their position on government is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, let's jump down and talk about these jobs that are going to be obsolete.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are living in a dream world if they don't think a lot of these jobs are going to go away.
Manufacturing and assembly line.
Yeah. Yep. A big one, a very big one. And think about this. Oftentimes, who works those jobs?
Us.
Who right now? Not just us.
I mean, a lot of those jobs or individuals that didn't go get formal education.
Right. Exactly.
Individuals that come from really, really humble beginnings,
Yeah.
and those jobs pull them up.
Yes.
And a lot of them assembly line workers. Now think about those dock workers that are making, how much was it, Rod?
90-something bucks an hour.
Exactly. Now they fall into that assembly line agent workers
Which
diameter.
But
Whatever.
with those assembly line workers, there was some big corporations in certain areas, and when they were open, your city
They were
blossomed
thriving.
and thrived.
Yeah.
Yes, but once they closed, you could just see the city.
Ghost town.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's horrible.
But here's something else, and y'all give me y'all perspective on this. When you hear about unions negotiating now, you hear about unions negotiating, and part of their negotiations, they're telling ownership that in our negotiations, you cannot adopt automation,
Correct.
or the automation that you adopt has to be limited. And I get it. It's to protect their jobs, but you tell ownership that they can't transform into automation when automation is right around the corner.
It is. It is.
Well, anybody that has any business sense would never agree to that, because that will impede your ability to maximize your profits in the market.
Well, the Writers Guild, they agreed to adopt.
Well, they
agreed to the AI limitations.
Listen, AI is going to do whole movies soon. I predict within the next 3 years we'll see complete AI movies. So
And
that's
it's
going to put
almost like going away from an actual customer service. Everything is push a button here, push a button here. What happened to talking to somebody? You always have to push a button, push a
And that
button, push a
contributes to
button.
antisocial behavior too.
but look, and this is where me and Rod are absolutely on the same page. People have been demanding things from jobs that they shouldn't be, and it's ridiculous. It has gotten out of hand, and we are empowering people who, through no effort of their own, really are living middle class. You're a dock worker. That's physical labor. Okay, you're not. It doesn't take a rocket science to do it, but you want to get paid like a rocket science.
And Doc, I know you got you're sitting in front of the PC, but think about the fact that Robert Downey Jr. I don't know what his net worth is, but this is a guy who said in the last couple of weeks that if the Hollywood studios auto generate or what do you call it, the artificial intelligence, if they use him to create and make a movie, he said, I'm not just going to sue the networks. I'm suing the individual presidents of the networks individually. But this is somebody who got deep pockets. Doc, what is Robert Downey Jr.'s net worth?
He's a millionaire easily, very, very much so.
But he's trying to protect his art and his craft. But come on, man, who made Iron Man?
But again, well, Iron Man remade him because he was
correct.
Yeah, his career was trash until he did Iron Man. And one of the things I found out, James Earl Jones actually cloned his voice before he died. He had been working with some I guess computer scientists to clone his voice and turn it into AI.
Wow.
That's going to be interesting to see how that, if he's in another movie, does his family get the earnings or what? I don't know. I dig deeper into the story, but I agree. It falls up under copyright and the ability to own your own self. So I get where you're coming from, but he can't own Iron Man.
You're right. You're right. So
it's not his to own.
Hey, but you know what, Doc? We've seen plenty of networks that will dump the actor and get a new actor. It won't be, it won't be Robert Downey Jr. who is Tony Stark?
Yeah.
And I mean, they made a real series out of Iron Man to where it's a multi-billion-dollar series.
Yeah, and think about this. How will that impact roles in the future for actors? What if I don't sign you to do that role if you don't agree to allow me to clone your likeness for future projects?
Yeah, and they make their money off of royalties too.
Yeah. Right. So, it's opening up a whole nother avenue.
Yeah, but Doc, that same avenue, Terrence Howard. Remember he was supposed to be in the one of the Iron Man series.
He was in the first one.
Yeah, but the other guy replaced him. They replaced him.
Don Cheadle.
So that's the example. If you want to negotiate and play hardball, you got to realize
you can
be replaced.
Yes.
Well, yeah, everybody can be replaced.
It goes on your job too. You can easily be replaced.
Yeah,
when it's time to come back 5 days,
of course,
and work in person, you don't want to come. You can easily be replaced.
Miss Wynn, this is one of the ones that you was talking about earlier. Cashiers. I mean, I think cashiers, that's already obsolete because all you have now when you go to Home Depot, you just got a person who's standing there checking. They just like a monitor, a hall monitor.
Yeah.
Telemarketers, telemarketing is reduced to AI now. Yeah. And data entry clerks.
Yep.
Come on, man. All the Doc, you got the list here.
Yeah.
But my thing is, like I said, I was a banker. I was a teller. And I used to interact with my customers. And you got to know your customers. And now that's going away. Everything is through the ATM machine.
Yeah, everything is in relationship.
Yeah.
But then when you look on here,
this has changed though. Think about this: when you get on the phone to customer service, you don't want to chit chat. You just want your problem solved.
You're right. And then when I look here, truck and delivery drivers. I know they have the self-driving trucks now, but eyes are getting off the truck to my front door. I mean, I don't know.
Wait a minute. Isn't Amazon coming with the drone now? So that's taking away your drivers.
Yeah, but how you still? I mean, you got to swoop in underneath my porch. File clerks, proofreaders, Doc, I get it. But then when I see the obsolete in the next 10 years, this is the same. Okay, I'm looking at the same. Yeah. So, man, okay, taxi, dispatch. Come on, all this stuff. You got Uber now. So, hey, Doc, like you said. This stuff, this stuff we can throw away because times are changing. Hey, we got less than 30 seconds. Y'all, next week, what are we looking forward to? Anything special?
Nope.
I have
that
a
can
birthday
think of.
coming up. Well, not my birthday. My granddaughter, she's turning 8 on Friday.
Oh, so hey, grandma, just think, we never, I mean, hopefully I'm nowhere close to that,
Well,
but it's coming.
my baby birthday was yesterday. My youngest daughter turned 37.
Well, both of y'all, hey, there you
Hey,
go, Mondo. Good cue.
I got on the phone with her. We always video chat, and I was about to cry.
Hey, that means we all aging. Hey, if you're looking at the sit down, you can look at and reach the sit down every Monday from 6 to 6:45. And if you have an organization that's providing any services to the community, we welcome you to join us in the studio to tell the community what it is you're doing. But until then, from Doc Polite, from Sister Wynn, and myself, hey, we look forward to seeing you next week on the sit down.
All right. Have a good evening.